Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your English class. Today we are going to study one of the finest poems of Emily Dickinson. That is, Hope is the Thing with Feathers. Before moving on to our poem, let's discuss some facts about Emily Dickinson. Elizabeth Dickinson was an American poet. She was a prolific poet, but less than a dozen of her nearly 1800 poems were published during her lifetime. The work that was published was usually changed significantly by the publishers to fit the poetic rules of the time. Other specialties of her poems is that she never gave titles to her poems. All her poems were given numbers. So, this poem comes on the number 314. As her poems were not given titles, all her poems were given titles from the first line of the poem. Now let's move on to our explanation of the poem, that is, Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Dear students, what is the meaning of perches? Perches means flies and sits down. Okay. Now let's discuss about this stanza. What is the thing that is with feathers? Obviously, birds. Even the smallest bird can take a great flight. It can fly because of those feathers. If we see the feathers, they are very light and delicate, isn't it? And still those feathers help the bird to fly. So that's why here the poet has compared the hope with the bird. In this stanza, she says that hope alights in our soul delicately, and even when there are no resources, hope gives us comfort. It motivates and inspires us, and it never stops giving comfort to us. Now let's move on to our stanza number 2. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. What is the meaning of gale, students, over here? Gale means a storm at sea. Sore means harsh. Abash means disturb, upset, embarrass, or make it feel ashamed. Now, in this second stanza, the poet is saying that the song of this bird, that is hope, is heard in most difficult situation of life, and even the difficulties may be very painful. Hope keeps comforting us and motivating us. Now let's discuss our stanza number 3. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. In this last stanza, dear students, in this last stanza, the poet has discussed about her own self. She says that I have experienced. She says that even in the most difficult situation of life, it was there comforting and inspiring her. And even in the extremity, even in the extreme conditions, extreme difficulties of her lives, it demanded nothing in return but kept on giving her comfort and inspiring her to deal with the situations. Dear students, this was a very beautiful poem which we have just read and discussed. In all these three stanzas, what does the poet exactly wants to say? Dear students, in this poem, the poet exactly wants to remind us that hope is there residing within you, and you should keep hope when the conditions around you get very difficult, because hope is the thing which gives flight to us and which makes us come out of that bad situations and motivates us to do something better than we are doing today. That's all for today. I hope you all have understood the poem nicely. Thank you and have a good day.